Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the BH and Scrubber Show here on the What the Football channel. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cover that last game that we played, and pretty good game at the beginning, but horrific at the end. So we're going to talk about that game, and we're also going to talk about the upcoming Eagles game. So if we have struggled to win that last game, we're going to struggle to win the next one, but we can persevere. We can win. They're a division opponent, and usually you can do good against your division people. So I got my boy here, BH, with me today. BH, welcome, buddy.
Hey, man. Yeah, good to be here. Boy, that was tough. That was a dagger. Like we were saying earlier, pre-show, talking about last week, I was complaining that we never get a lead, that we always it goes right down to the nubs, and they didn't quite do it the way I wanted. We were talking about 35-10, 24-7, but what was 17-7 going into the fourth? Okay, that it not every game has to be 21-20 and 17-16. But of course, we know what happened. It fell apart at the end. A lot of things, a bad interception.
Yep.
That was a dagger. Really some questionable coaching calls. Let's be honest. I mean, the challenging the spot.
Second down.
Yard to go.
Yeah, let it go.
Yeah, let it go, man. I mean, unless it's just a crucial point in the game or something, and it's third or fourth. Yeah, that wasn't good. I think also there was a timeout. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they had a 4th and 1 or a third or fourth and short, but they didn't get it in time. They had to burn a timeout. Something like
in the
that.
Third quarter or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just had to burn it because they weren't ready.
Yep.
Play didn't get in time, or they weren't decisive on the sideline. Sometimes back and forth. What do you think? Should we do this? It's like, just be decisive and then get the damn play in.
Don't you have a 4th and 1 call?
Don't you? Yeah, situational. This gets to exactly what you said last week. Was why the hell don't we have somebody doing this? I mean, you just said it. You said it. You've said it before, actually, but you brought it up again.
Yeah. Who's watching this? Who isn't making that 2nd and 1 spotting the ball and just saying, screw it, don't do it. That's time management, and it bit us at the end. We could have used those 2 timeouts at the end.
Oh, hell yeah. We could have used them. So that, I just don't know if they're ever going to do it. I mean, you really need, and we know how it is. It's organizationally, we're food service guys, but it doesn't matter if you're launching rockets, if you have a football team, if you have a restaurant, it's all the same crap. It's bad decisions. It's bad communication. It's not everyone being on the same page.
Yep.
And that's what they need. I mean, they need to really have someone who's going to do it.
Yeah.
And not the head coach. I don't know. Our head coach, I think head coaches are sometimes a good person to do it because you have everyone else calling the game. You got a DC, you got an OC, got a special teams coach. You're just sort of making things work. But Ron, for some reason, doesn't seem to have that. I had a complaint back in the day watching Norv Turner with the Chargers. Very similar, quite frankly, to and he called plays too. And so I felt he really had too much on his plate. But, they need to really, what you need to do is find someone who's going to do it and have everyone get in there, especially the top coordinators and Ron, and discuss your philosophy. It doesn't matter too much because quarters matter. Time matters. You do things differently in the fourth quarter than you do in the second quarter. So it's not all the same. It has to be a comprehensive few days of meetings. You say, well, where do we all agree? What do we think we're going to do? What do you want to do on 3rd and 1 when we're here, when we're 4th and 1, and when we're here? And go over it to the point where you go over it and you have a philosophy. So when it comes down in a game, almost everybody knows the decision, but one person's responsible. He's the guy that you designated. He
Yep.
gets into this, has a little cheesy headset like me, and he said 4th and 1. No, we're punting from here. Punt.
Yep.
Second quarter, no, punt it. You make the decision. Doesn't care what the and they were just seeing it too much. And that one, a lot of times it doesn't bite you in the butt. Interceptions, fumbles, stupid penalties, they rear up and get you. But honestly, like you said, we could have used those 2 timeouts later in the game and had a chance to win that thing.
And someone who will look at the review of the play real quick too, and make that decision for coach, because coach is just out there looking up at the big screen or whatever, trying to make a decision. Don't they have somebody who looks at the replay and says, yes, he got it. No, the spotting of the ball was good. Don't red flag it. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Somebody to do that as well. It could be the same person for all I care.
Yeah, I think it should be the same person. And you should go over that. And that should also be tied to what part of the game are we talking about here. Don't, if it looks close early, don't red flag it. Save that flag for in the 4th quarter when you really need it. Hell yeah.
It was 2nd and 10 and they got 9 yards. It would have been 3rd and 1. So what? And then they even still got the 3rd down. I think what they do, hand off to Armani Rogers or something like that. And they got like a 14-yard gain or something.
Yeah.
Dumbasses.
I know. And that just really showed, damn, you wasted a lot of time.
Yeah.
And it's it goes to what we always talk about too, is situational football. All those things are situational. It's always there's what's the score? How far are you behind? How far are you ahead? What time in the game are you? When you make those decisions, that all has to be thought out. And you know what? You can even go against the grain. You can even coach can even say, I know what we said in the meetings. Fuck it. I feel like here, I just want to go for it. Let's just do this. That's fine. But you can't just have guys on the side and go, what do you do? What's going on? Which play is it? And then the quarterback's going, watching the clock tick down, tick down, tick down. They have to call timeout because they don't have their act together. So that's, that I don't mind, going off the reservation and try and do something different, but I just don't see a comprehensive plan there.
Yeah, no, they blew it. And there's some, besides that, the unnecessary roughness on the field goal. It's like 4th and 2, and I think Ridgeway just piled over the top. Dude, that's what really sank us right there.
Yeah, that was really bad, and that was a rookie mistake. And he shouldn't have done it. I mean, I know they're coached that way. And it wasn't like he tried to do that thing where you go over, because you can jump. A guy like Bobby Wagner used to. You can jump the center. You better make sure you don't touch him. Well, John Ridgway's not jumping over anybody.
No.
So that was he did, and I don't know. I mean, maybe I just know he's got to know that's the rule. He has to know that. Man, his brain just slipped in the middle, and it's a shame. I mean, I feel kind of bad for him. It was a stupid mistake. He's a good player. I feel like he's growing and helping us a lot. But but here's the thing. You got a lot of seasoned coaches and you got a seasoned staff who, like we said before, made mistakes. And then that's what happens, right? Then a rookie does a dumb thing or a ref makes a bad call. Now you're screwed. Well, guess what? If you save those timeouts, even John Ridgway or the ref wouldn't have screwed you. You could still gotten around it. If you, the veterans who were players and have been coaches for 20 years, didn't screw up and get plays in late or make a ridiculous, challenge to a 1-yard play, we'd have those timeouts. We still would have had a chance. And that takes care of leads and stuff and things like that, take care of bad things that are going to happen because they are going to happen. So it always leads up to it as the game, like you said, the missed field goal or going for 2 in the second quarter. Why? Kick the extra point, all those things. And then and then a rookie makes a mistake and you go, oh, that guy, he ruined the whole game for us. No, he didn't. You put yourself in a position for that rookie to ruin the game for you. You shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
Bad throw with Taylor on the interception. And this is 2 games in a row now. I mean, Logan Thomas has not had a catch in 2 games.
Right.
I don't know what's going on. He had no targets last week. Had 3 targets against Minnesota, but he was targeted, but he didn't get anything. So that's another thing I'm kind of wondering about. I know we're going off a little negative here,
Yeah.
but we might as well we got to face the music on this game. Pretty devastating loss. If you get beat 41-0, just do a show about the next game. It just, those things happen. There's games where your team's tired or something goes haywire. But a game like that, you can really zone in on what the heck was going on.
Yeah.
And why isn't Thomas being utilized? And also, I mean, I thought our line did pretty good, but they did a couple jailbreaks on him, and he had like 2 seconds, and they were on his ass. And they keep keeping him in the pocket, and he's got a little bit of that Russell Wilson syndrome. It's kind of hard for him, over the middle and to have a good field vision, and they don't ever move him out. And
right.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying I want him sprinting, to the sideline and just jacking throws on a full run, but I'm saying try a few plays where you move the pocket out and give him a chance to see the field better. So didn't see much of that either.
No, it goes back to Scott Turner's play calling, which was pretty abysmal.
Yep.
So we couldn't get the run game going, which doesn't get the passing game going, and Heineke's passing's a little suspect anyway. So some of the things he did were lucky. He sailed a couple throws. He just doesn't look. He just looks like he looked last year, and supposedly he's supposed to be improving. So
yeah, he did look a lot like last year. Good point.
Yeah, maybe the scheme hasn't been tailored more towards him. I don't know. Like you're saying, get him out. Have some. He didn't even have any like schemed runs for himself or anything like that. So they're just not utilizing him like they should be, and that points to Scott Turner again. I don't know. There's something going on there when of course, the Vikings, they stopped the run pretty good, but our run game was crap. So
I know, and our run game
never got off the ground.
Yeah, and our run game's usually pretty decent. And we complained last week. That was one of our things: is why not some designed runs for Taylor?
Yeah.
And a designed bomb to take the top off, kind of move that D back. And none of that again. They don't do it. I mean, they do a lot of jet screens and stuff, and those are good. I mean, I thought that the little sweep that they did to you're talking about Armani Rogers, cool play. Yeah. And there's a bright spot.
A lot of them didn't work though.
That's
a lot of
true.
those screens didn't work. They're just like the Seahawks. There are just some teams that cannot execute that.
Yeah. And if you can't throw over the middle, the defense can they go, we don't have to defend the middle.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now you're on the outside, and now you're trying to do, screens out there or little sweeps out there. Well, they're up on the line, and they know they can sort of vacate that center a little bit.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know. I would say bright spots. I mean, doggone it, the defense again every week. It's like a broken record. The D line really good. I think our DBs. Fuller finally had what I would call a real complete football game.
He did.
Maybe he's turned the corner, man, but I don't know what the hell's going on with him. But he actually looked good. I thought Benjamin St-Juste did good. Now he got burned, but he got beat. But I mean, he was all over Jefferson on some of those plays. That guy's a monster.
Yeah,
he's just he's probably he's top 2 or 3 in the NFL. He's that good. Him, Cooper Kupp, maybe Chase. I don't know, but he's up there, and he showed why. He catches balls when he's completely covered. It's not a problem for him. And also Ben St-Juste broke up a lot of passes. He was there. And so I was real proud of him. That's a tough guy to cover. What did you think of the pick 6 penalty? When they penalized him when he had the pick 6?
When you got to play against the refs sometimes, if that is just called equally, I don't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? But it just seemed a little, I don't know, just seemed a little nitpicky to me. So
yep, I agree. And they do that, man, when you got a young guy against one of the top teams in the league. Like, one thing I didn't point out a few weeks back was Heineke in his first game back. Got hit by a guy coming in. He swiped at the football. Heineke got it off, and the defender came in, and his arm hit Heineke in the face. And then he pushed Heineke down, and then he put his weight on Heineke. Now, he wasn't a defensive lineman, but you can't do that. In one play, blow to the head, use your weight of your body to crush them.
Yeah.
If that's Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or any of those guys, boom, out come the flags. I mean, the back judge, 30 yards there, he'd throw it. You know what I mean? But Taylor
Accidentally
Heineke
throws
gets,
the wad of money he got instead of the
yeah,
flag.
and wrong pocket. But that always happens. And so I felt bad for him because I thought, or if that was like a stud DB that's been in the league, something like Jair Alexander, one of those guys, and he went up and, ripped that ball out and they wouldn't have thrown the flag.
Yeah.
I don't think so. That happens. But I felt bad for Ben St. Juste because really he had about the toughest assignment in football last weekend of any player, and he did pretty darn good, and that would have been the icing on the cake. And that took a win away from us.
It did.
When they did that.
Yeah.
That killed us. So
yeah, I thought our D-line did good against Cousins. They were, all during the game, you could hear me say, they're squeezing him. They're squeezing him. He made a bunch of crappy throws. He couldn't hit, Dalvin Cook. I said it a million times coming out of the backfield. He couldn't hit him. Dalvin Cook couldn't run. There was a lot of bad passes. And, finally Dalvin Cook broke open, and he got that one touchdown. But we were really pressing Cousins, and our DBs are a big part of that because they're squeezing. They're covering for the 2 to 3 seconds we need them to. Let that line get in there and make the breakup play. So we were doing really good the whole, for what we got through that whole game against the Vikings. We were doing good to what we had going. And then it just, it's that interception. It's that bad coaching, bad time management, that one, unfortunately, that one penalty. It's like I said it the whole game. It doesn't matter what the touchdowns and field goals are. None of that matters. Those are going to happen anyways. It's the penalties. It's the clock management. It's the special teams. It's the turnovers. And 3 of those 4 things bit us in the ass. Our special teams did real good.
Yep. Yeah. So that was, God, that was such a shame. And that's really almost 4 straight weeks of our D-line kicking butt.
Yes.
And then I don't know where Chase is. I mean, let's hope he comes back for this game, at least to get into there. James Smith-Williams, his backup has been fantastic. So we've got him. Jamin Davis is stepping up every week. He's doing better. I guess I read he's doing a lot of weak side, but I watched a lot of the highlights and I saw him right over the middle because someone said, well, they left him on the weak side because it was a big mistake putting him in the middle. Everyone always says that, which is bullshit. He played in the middle in college. I hate hearing that stupid, ignorant stuff. But having said that, he still was lined up over the middle a few times. So I don't know, I don't know what they're saying. But long story short, he's doing good. And Cameron Curl, I remember we were talking about, he got the defensive helmet because Cam plays every play. So Cameron Curl is quarterbacking the D. Remember, I was kind of wondering with Cole out, who's going to do it. So they gave it to Cameron, which is great. Jamin doesn't need that. He needs to read and react and make plays. And he's just really looking good. And he's actually got a great tackling score. And he improved his pass protection has gone up almost 12 points in the last 3 weeks at Pro Football Focus. So It's not great, but it's going up.
Yeah.
I watched him on a bunch of plays. He looks very good reading and watching on pass plays. Unfortunately, they're going over his head to, their 20, 15, and 25-yard plays. But he looks real sharp. I mean, when there's a pass play and he's in pass, he's been pass D, he's backing up, he's scanning. I watch him. He's watching his head. He's watching the running backs. He's looking at the cross routes. He looks really smooth and good, and he's blowing some people up. So I'm really happy about him. Boy, if we could get Cole Holcomb back, and I'm not sure he's there. He didn't practice today. So might have another week without Cole, but gosh darn it, if we could get Cole back and Chase Young back with the way this D's playing, we could really tighten things up.
Yeah.
So,
What about the O-line? What do we do about that shit?
It's the same kind of thing. I think they're playing above average.
Okay.
But they're just not it's just not stellar. Their D is tough on the run. Cosme didn't play, so they're I think they're still waiting for his hand to fully heal. I think he's really just a backup. Yeah, they could do better, but they're just doing mediocre Pro Football Focus, 65, getting a 65-point rank, 64, not bad, but you want to bet up to 75 to 85. Charles Leno is almost always the highest rated. He always does a good job. So he's pretty good. But yeah, overall, just not great. And we don't have a quarterback that they have to respect his arm. A lot going on in that regard, so having Taylor gets it out there, but he's not a guy that's going to just quick release and let it go. So it'll be interesting to see when Wentz is back from his injury. That's down the road, but it'll be interesting to see because, like you said, this game we kind of saw 2021 Taylor Heineke, and that's not good. We want to see progress. So any other good things? I mean, we talked about our D in general. Our DBs tightened up. Our linebackers overall D did pretty good. O-line little better. I mean, receivers were okay, but if the quarterback play isn't popping, the receivers aren't, and they all caught their passes, but no one really broke out. Special teams has been pretty darn good. Dax, and I think Antonio Gibson's looking good on the kickoffs.
Yep. He broke that 45-yarder.
Yeah. You were cracking on Dax, and then he had an 18-yard return and then caught the touchdown.
Then,
keep it up, man.
A little motivation.
He needed some motivation. He knew Scrubber was talking trash, and he said, well, I can't sit here and look at that. But so good for him. Yeah. Overall, of course, Tressway. I think Tressway, I forgot about, was October's NFC Player of the Month. Finally got some recognition for the Commanders, and he deserved it, man. I watched some of his. They said a little thing about it, and it showed his highlights. He was killing it.
He sent it to me. I looked at it.
Yeah, great guy, and a great punter. He needs to be recognized, because he does such a good job so consistently.
Yeah.
Overall, so I mean, let's face it, Taylor Heineke, Coach Ron, and the offensive coordinator, Turner, they need to have a better game. Yeah. Those three. Those are the three that need to have a better game. Everyone else, of course, got to step up. You always have to play better after a loss. Everybody, I don't care what your Pro Football Focus ranking was. After you lose like that, everyone has to play better, period. Yeah. But those three people, they got to be held accountable, even if they're coaches. So let's hope on Monday night at Philadelphia that they do, because they better. Because, man, we got a handful of that damn team.
Yeah, there are people screaming for his head, him and Turner.
I know. Yeah, it was not a. That was a bad loss, man. And you could, like, we talked all about it. We're not here to pick on anybody. We call it like we see it, and it was obvious what the problem was.
Yep.
Pretty obvious.
So hey, professionals, they got to be able to take the criticism. That's. You take the accolades when you win. You got to take the criticism when you're losing. So
it's true.
When it looks like more of the same, like you said, if it was something like a blowout or whatever, fine. But when you're making the same mistakes over and over and over again, that speaks to a cultural problem or a coaching problem or something that someone, they'll sit there and say, oh, Jamin Davis needs to up his game. Well, what about coach? Aren't you held to the same standard? If you're not coaching, if you're blowing these timeouts and clock management, or Scott Turner isn't holding his own place too, he should be held accountable, just like a player should be held accountable. If you're going to pull William Jackson III out for the way he plays, why aren't they subject to the same scrutiny? So
I agree 100%. And it's not just, the play calling can be suspect, and also the game planning. Yeah. He's the offensive coordinator. He is responsible for the game plan. And some of the game planning, they don't do. We point things out. Why don't they do this? And every week they don't do it. Why do they? They just do like 6 things. And why don't they try them? So, you got to be held accountable. And no one supports and loves Coach, more than us. But
yeah, we love Coach Ron.
But you got to, like I said, he's got to be held accountable too. He's got to do a better job. So, Yeah, I'm looking forward to Monday night, though. It's kind of
Yeah.
nice to be on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
So,
I'm actually going to be able to call the game. I'm pretty sure I get it on my NFL app, so I'll probably call it straight off the phone, and I'll probably have the Yahoo thing up, but I'll probably just call it as I see it on the phone, just to make it
that's
easy.
the way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll be in the chat. We had a bunch of people show up. Man, we had some great folks show up. Some new people showed up, and
Yeah.
that was fun. John back and forth, and they were pretty funny actually, and pretty fun. Even had a Minnesota fan show up for about 2 seconds.
Yeah, that was
I don't
fun.
care. Yeah,
Yeah,
come
I don't
on,
either.
come on, come all.
That's what I
So
said.
let's hope we get that for Monday night, and it's a challenge. We're honest about that, and I mean anyone looking at that Philadelphia team and their record knows no one's picking the Commanders. Forget it.
No, no.
But you know what? Hey, on any given Monday.
Yep. Division rivalries have a different way of happening. So,
It does, man.
you can't go 8 in a row without, that one loss is looming coming up. So, I think it was, what was it, a year or two ago? Didn't we beat, the Steelers? Didn't we? Weren't they on there like 11-0 thing or something, and we beat them or something?
Yeah, and they had that insane 4 plays at the goal line. Was that the game where they
it
ran
was like 6 or
Steelers?
7 plays. But I think they got like 3 downs, and then they got like somehow got a first down, or there was a penalty, and then they got 4 more. So it was like 6 or 7 plays.
And smoked them, and they had to they had to give the ball over. It was that was an amazing set of downs. I mean, that really showed you something about that D line, and we're seeing it now. That same D line, we're seeing Montez Sweat and Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen. We're seeing all of it now. So those guys have to really. I mean, they've been doing so good, and I hate to say it, but even they have to step up.
Against the Colts, man, we held them to like a couple field goals, and I think we got a turnover. They were down inside the red zone, so they did real good. They've been doing real good. That little John Ridgeway thing that really sucked is really, really bad timing. But that's one tiny thing against the whole game. You can't hold that against the D line for that. So let's hope they do good against the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm hoping for it, man. Well, I'll be there and supporting you in the chat, man.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, dog. Great show. Thanks, everybody.
All right, man.